Her name is Delta, all floof, no bite today for our training. I'm just going to pop over to YouTube, make sure things are live. Looks like we're still waiting for YouTube's data to go through, at which point we get rolling. All right, so we are officially streaming on the YouTube. Let me make sure everything's going through okay. All right, everything is going through perfect. Cool beans. So today I'm going to be teaching a framework that is an excellent tool for you to use if you are a man that is sick and tired of your self-sabotage. If you are tired of getting in your own way and holding yourself back from the potential that you know you're capable of, this is the training for you. This is what's called the energy leadership framework. So my name is Alec Latulip. I'm a certified professional coach and energy leadership index master practitioner. So I am certified to teach this framework to you today. This is actually the framework that got me into the school that I went to. And now I get the pleasure of actually teaching it and using it to coach people one-on-one. So this framework is incredibly powerful because what it does is it gives us the ability to take something typically intangible like our perceptions about the world, ourselves, our situations, other people around us, and it puts it in a concrete, it reframes it rather in a concrete way that we can better understand. Because in order for us to really change the way that we operate in life, in order for us to really bring in different results, we have to operate differently. And how we bring in results is entirely dependent on the energy that we bring to the table. So if we keep it ambiguous and intangible without a framework like this, then it becomes much harder for us to actually be able to utilize it to our advantage. So you'll notice it says day one. This is because this is actually like a 8 or 9 day training that I did in my free school community called The Unsettled for husbands, for men, really. So we're going to work through this Google document here, and we're going to start with what you're going to learn. So in this training, you're going to learn the two types of, let me make this a little bit bigger, the two types of energy and the impact that they have on your life. You're going to learn the energetic self-perception chart, which is literally a cheat sheet to responding versus reacting in any given situation. Let me see if I can get out of this little Grammarly thing here. There we go. You're going to learn the 7 different levels of energy and how they might be supporting or hindering your ability to create the ideal life that you envision. You're going to learn how to motivate yourself and others, like your cats or your family members. Maybe not your cats. They're just going to cause chaos all the time anyway. So you're going to learn to motivate yourself and others to reach their full potential. And you're going to learn about possible next steps to becoming a more powerful and fulfilled person in all aspects of your life. Now, this is called the Energy Leadership Training, right? The official name is the Energy Leadership Index. You are a leader no matter what you're doing in life. You might be a leader in your career. You might be a leader at home. You are a leader. No matter what you're doing, you don't need to be in an official leadership position in order to be considered a leader. So just something to keep in mind. This is how you lead yourself and ultimately how you lead those around you, even if it's just your home. And I would argue that's far more important. I don't even have to argue. I think you would agree that leading your family is far more important than leading a team of coworkers and employees. All right. So let's go ahead and move on. We're gonna take a look at level 1. Actually, we're gonna go back up here. Well, we'll stay here. So level 1 is catabolic energy. There's a big difference between catabolic and anabolic energy, which are the two primary types of energy. So essentially, quantum physics says that everything and everyone, us included, right, are vibrating forms of energy. So we are vibrating forms of energy in flesh. And there's two primary types of energy, and that's catabolic energy and anabolic energy, right? So catabolic energy is the destructive force. It tears us down and it holds us back from our potential. Anabolic energy, think going to the gym, right? You know, not much there, but you got something, building up some muscle, eating the protein, right? It's a building up force. So the more catabolic energy we have, the less satisfaction we have in life. The more anabolic energy we have, the more overall satisfaction we have, and the more desirable results that we bring in. So there's two primarily catabolic levels of energy, which is level 1 and level 2. The more you move up the 7 levels, the more increasingly anabolic the levels become, and the catabolic energy decreases as well. So with level 1 energy, and this is another thing to note, each level has a core thought, a core feeling, and a core emotion because we operate not just on this framework, but also in a framework called thoughts, feelings, actions. So the things that we think and believe about ourselves, our situations, the world, and others determines how we feel, and how we feel determines the actions that we take and ultimately the results that we bring in. So if you don't believe that you're good enough, are you going to feel disempowered or empowered? You're going to feel disempowered. And when you feel disempowered, do you think you're going to take the action steps that you need to take to get to where you want to go? No. You're going to be you're not going to take the actions. You're going to take actions opposite to get you to where you want to be. And this is why a lot of people stay stuck. So, that's why each level has a core thought, feeling, and emotion. So, for level 1, the core thought is victim thinking. The core feeling is apathy. So you don't really have any feelings of good or bad or whatever. You just kind of like your emotion goes away because you're that catabolic, quite frankly. And the core action is lethargy. So you kind of just, I don't really know what to do. I can do this. I could do this. I don't even, know how to decide what to do for dinner because I just don't have the energy, right? That's a great example of level 1 energy. So what does level 1 sound like? Level 1 can sound like, I don't have time to insert the thing you don't have time to do. My wife won't support me building a business. I've given up on myself before. I'll give up again. No matter what I do, it's not enough for my family. And I need, that's a keyword, and fix. That's also another. I need and fix are two keywords here to fix my self sabotage. Now, it's also important to know that every level has advantages and disadvantages. So, some of the advantages of level 1 is it protects us from experiencing tough truths or assuming responsibility for negative life events. It can also garner sympathy from others. Maybe we've gone through a loss. Some of the disadvantages is avoidance and disengagement can impact levels of satisfaction and prevent you from taking the action required to achieve your goals. So again, remember catabolic, it holds us back. It keeps us from our potential. Just give me a moment real quick. I'm going to make sure it's my first really official live stream. So I'm going to make sure that things are still going well. Let's see. Perfect. Things are going well. Love it. Like to see it. All right. So let's go to level 2. Level 2 is also primarily, again, remember, catabolic energy. So if we take a look, let me see, actually, can I maximize this? Does it get rid of my video? It doesn't look like it keeps my video. So that's all right. That's okay. This is big enough. I'm only 27. I can still see this. All right. So level 2, again, is still primarily catabolic energy. And remember, as we go up the 7 levels, the percentage of catabolic energy gets lower and lower. But level 2 is still over 50% catabolic energy. The core thought is that conflict exists. The core feeling is anger towards ourselves or others or inanimate objects. Let's be honest here. And the core action is defiance. So what does level 2 sound like? Level 2 sounds like this. I'm constantly fighting. There's a conflict to get everything done. My wife and I argue. There's a conflict over leaving my job. I get angry at myself when I give up. I'm upset at the version of myself that holds me back. I'm sick and tired of the constant self-sabotage. So there's, again, fighting, argue, anger, upset, sick and tired, all indications that there's conflict and some sort of level of frustration there. Okay. So some of the advantages of level 2 energy is it enables people to get a lot done. It's why people work well under pressure and they can get a lot done. But the problem is success comes at a cost. So when motivation is forced, it's not sustainable. Eventually, it leads to impaired motivation and can impact the productivity of not just yourself, but others too. The use of force, fear, coercion are short-term strategies with long-term impacts. Okay. Now, here's a great example of level 2 because It's important to note that none of these 7 levels of energy are good or bad. Your goal and my goal of teaching you this framework is not to experience all level 7 because it's pure anabolic energy, or all level 5 and never experience level 1 or 2, right? The thing with this framework is it's important to know whether you're experiencing an energy level by choice because it serves you or by default because it's what you're used to. Everyone operates on this framework, whether they're aware of it or not. And your initial reactions are valid. It's all based off of your own knowledge and your own years of experience in your life. Because I'm not the expert in your life, you are. And everyone's life is different. So you might have a level 1 reaction. And it's not that that's wrong. It's not that you shouldn't. And teaching this framework is not, I'm not teaching that you should never, that by utilizing this framework, you can stop reacting with level 1 energy. No, no, no. Your initial responses are your own based off your own experiences. And those can shift as you grow and learn. But it's all about, whoa, this is what I'm experiencing right now. Here's how I'm going to change my experience. That's the point. It's not to say that you're unjustified or it's wrong of you to be angry at someone for calling out at work over and over again and putting your team in a shitty position, right? It's not to say that that's wrong or bad. It's totally normal and valid. The question is, do you want to linger there because it's your default, or do you want to choose a different level of energy that's more productive for you and maybe even your team, right? So that's another thing to keep in mind. And the example that I was going to give for level 2 is, and why you don't always want to resonate at higher levels is, let's say you're walking down the street with your wife, your child, and your dog, and some crazy dude comes up to you. Actually, we just had some kid got murdered in our city. Some homeless dude was following them, screaming them, and screaming at them. Went up to the kid, pushed him down, stabbed him to death. Crazy. This happened like a week ago, not even. What are you going to do in a situation like that? Do you want to choose conflict to defend yourself, or do you want to choose one of the higher levels of energy, which you'll see as we get to them are not productive in a situation like this, right? For example, I'll give you a little tease. Level 5 is a win-win. I create a win for me. I create a win for you. Are you going to want to create a win for yourself and a win for that crazy homeless man that's about to stab you, potentially stab you, about to attack the most beloved things in your life? The beloved people, beings in your life? No, you're going to want to choose a level 2. So again, every level has advantages and disadvantages. It's important, again, to know whether you're using it by choice because it serves you, or by default because it's what you're used to. All right. So let's move on to level 3. Level 3 is the first level of primarily anabolic energy. So at this point, catabolic energy drops below that 50% mark. So the core thought for level 3 is responsibility. The core feeling for level 3 is forgiveness. And the core action for level 3 is cooperation. This is the level, I like to say, where acceptance starts to bleed in. It's not true acceptance, which we'll get to later. Excuse me. It's the level of, it is what it is. I'm going to deal with it. This isn't really ideal, but I'm going to figure it out. If we look at the earlier levels, excuse me, geez. Level 1 is I lose, right? That's the type of thinking. Level 2 is you lose. Level 3 is I win, right? Something might be happening that's not really what I would prefer, but I'm not going to be, I'm not a victim to it. I'm not going to be angry at it. I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to make sure that I end up winning. Right now, my wife and I are dealing with car issues. My AC's out. It's been fixed, and now it's having issues again. So it's got to go back. Her car is having brake issues, so she's not driving it. And we got to bring him 2 separate days, somehow find a ride between our schedules and other people's schedules. Not ideal in the slightest. And there's a version of myself. I actually did a newsletter on this and sent it within my community as well. Not ideal. Not ideal. And there was a part of myself when I was dealing with it, like, how are we going to get the cars? And it's just frustrating. And there's a part of myself that starts to go, man, it's like nothing I do is working. Like nothing in my life. It bleeds into that. I'm the victim. I'm at the effect of my life rather at the world, rather than in control of it. So I sat there and said, you know what? This isn't ideal, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to allow myself to be all victim about it because it's just going to throw my day off and I'm going to make poor decisions because, again, I'm disempowered, right? I'm thinking I'm a victim. I'm feeling disempowered and then I take shitty actions. All right. So I chose a level 3 in that scenario. I said, it's not ideal, but I'm going to win. I'm going to get through this. We're going to figure it out. All right. So here's what level 3 can sound like. And you'll notice each of these scenarios are the same scenarios for each level. It's just a different perspective. So the first example is about time. The first level was, let me go back here. I don't have time. Level 2 is I'm constantly fighting to get everything done. And level 3 is I wish, remember, not ideal, but I wish I had more time, but I'll get it done. All right. I wish my wife didn't have reservations about my business, but I can look past it. Not giving in was ideal. So talking about like I have it, right? Not giving in was ideal, but I'll get there. I can get there. I'm not where I want to be, but again, I can get there. I can work through the self-sabotage, not I need to fix another thing. And why I hyperbolized those two, I think that's the word. I think that's the word. Need and fix is because level 1 is the level of need. Level 2 is level 1 is the feeling of needing to fix, right? That something needs to be fixed. And forget need, like something is broken. That's level 1. Something I need to, or I fear I have to. That's level 1 energy. So just think about that. Like the next time maybe you set a morning routine or a gym routine, you're like, I have to get up this morning and go to the gym. How sustainable has that been for you when you've tried it before? How sustainable is it now if maybe you're trying it for the first time? That I have to is level 1, and it's only really going to lead to feelings of disempowerment. It's not sustainable, right? I get to wake up this morning. There's people out there that can't even run. I watched a video the other day of some guy that couldn't even run anymore because of his disease. It was too much impact. He's take advantage of what you have. It's like, I get to wake up this morning and go to the gym and work out. I get to wake up early this morning and be up before other people wake up and be productive before other people are productive. I get to, right? That's level 5, which we'll get to in just a moment. So let's go back to level 3 here. So some of the advantages of level 3 are people are able to move past any sort of judgment or negativity in the moment so that they can remain focused on the positive movements that are going to get them towards their desired goal and outcome. Think about those 7 levels of energy as lenses. We're all looking at life, rather, we're all experiencing life through a set of lenses: blue, red, green, yellow, purple, whatever the color is. We're all looking through a certain lens. Each level is a different lens. Okay. So some of the disadvantages of level 3 is all it allows people to move past negativity in the moment. It doesn't address the actual level 1 or level 2 energy underneath the surface, that initial frustration, right? It doesn't actually address it. You're kind of just putting it to the side, to the side. So as a result, there could be a tendency to tolerate or settle for good enough in the pursuit of finding solutions to move forward, underlying issues may go unaddressed. Okay. So let's move to level 4. Level 4 is where the catabolic energy, like level 3 is where the catabolic energy really starts to disappear. But level 4 is really that first level because level 3 is more of a mixed bag. Whereas level 4 is really primarily anabolic energy. And then as we go through 5, 6, and 7, that sliver of catabolic energy just gets lower and lower. All right. So level 4, the core thought is concern, right? The core feeling is compassion. And the core action is service. Usually it's service to others, because one of the disadvantages is by serving others too often, you can lack the ability to serve for yourself. But it can include service to yourself. So what does level 4 sound like? I like to give my time to my family. Whereas I don't have time. I'm fighting to get everything done. I wish I had more time, but I'll figure it out too. Boom. I give my time to my family. Remember, it's service. My wife is concerned about the financial changes of me building a business. I can help her feel more comfortable. Service to her. When others want to give in, I step in to motivate them. Service to them. When I am prioritizing reaching my goals to better serve my family. Serving my family. I nurture, and here's where the self comes in. I nurture the part of myself that keeps self sabotaging. So the part of myself that swoops in and holds myself back and convinces me to give in on my goals, or convinces me to not start, or convinces me to not spend time figuring shit out. I nurture that part of myself because I understand, you know what? It's just a hurt part of myself. Some version of myself that's used to this, some version of myself that's been hurt. It's not really there. There's an argument to be had that at a certain point, it's not really self sabotage, right? And I say that to say it's something I've been thinking about recently is at a certain point, can you view the self sabotage really simply as data, as a version of yourself that's struggling, as a piece of information that you can use to improve and grow, rather than it almost makes me think, I think I've just started to think about this. Is self sabotage really a level one way of thinking? It exists. And when we're talking about how to address our self sabotage, we're looking at growth. So I wouldn't say we're at a level one mindset because we're thinking about growth. We're looking for opportunities, which is more of a level five. But the idea that there's this version of ourselves that's stepping in and just undercutting us, it can feel that way and it makes total sense. But part of myself recently has wondered, is that just a more catabolic way and more negative way of thinking about a version of ourselves? Because the truth is, we do these things that sabotage ourselves, that get in our way. Oh, here comes my cat. We do these things that sabotage ourselves, that get in our way because we're scared. There's a version of ourselves that's scared, that's been taught certain things, that's afraid. And when we look at it from the lens of, oh, I'm so tired of the self-sabotage, what if we looked at the lens of this, of serving that version of ourselves that's hurt, that feels the need to self-sabotage? And then level five, I think, is where maybe it can transition to there is no self-sabotage. I'm a human. I'm struggling. Everything is based off of where I've been in the past and what I've learned. And we'll get to level five in a moment. Just something I've been thinking about lately. So some of the advantages of level four is people really do care about helping and serving others. So as a result, it feels great to support and to give support and make a difference. Some of the disadvantages hi honey, without establishing healthy boundaries, the tendency of level four is to place everyone's needs above your own or get pulled into other people's drama, into their box, into their story, right? This could result in taking on too much and dropping into the catabolic levels of energy, level one and two, which would be overwhelm and then frustration when things are out of balance. You done? Nope, you're going to sit. She's plopping down. Hi, honey. She's so cute. She's a pure Siberian. She's the most adorable thing in the world, other than my wife, of course. Some of the disadvantages, actually, I already read through that. All right, so let's move on to level five here. Right. Level five, the core thought. Remember when I said level three is where you start to accept, right? But it's more of a, it is what it is, acceptance. She's licking my arm. Level five was where you really, truly start to accept the experience for what it is and look at it as an opportunity. So level five, the core thought is reconciliation. Level five's core feeling is peace. And the core action is acceptance. So what does level five sound like? Delta, stop licking my bicep. Thank you. How I use time is up to me. Time is a gift and it's my choice. How can I comfort my wife's practical concern while serving my passions and building a business? Remember earlier I said level five is a win-win perspective. Level four is you win. Remember, level one is I lose. Level two is you lose. Level three is I win. Level four is you win. Level five is we both win. I don't just make sure others win. I show them a man who wins, right? You're an example for others. There's so many ways that I can reach my goals and live with purpose, right? There is no right or wrong. Right or wrong and good and bad really start to disappear at this level because everything is an experience and everything is an opportunity for you to grow, right? So my self-sabotage, and here's kind of what I was touching on earlier, is an opportunity to relearn what's held me back and grow. The self-sabotage is no longer the thing that's holding you back. It's the data. It becomes data for you to utilize as an opportunity to grow and move forward. Some of the advantages of level 5 is that level 5 people are able to generate ideas and see opportunities and purpose in every situation. So, since the focus is on learning from the situation, they don't take things personally. Some of the disadvantages is at level 5, people can see so many opportunities. I experience this. I'm sure you've experienced this from time to time, where they start to experience analysis paralysis. They might even be disengaged from their emotions because they're focusing on analyzing situations. Sometimes a high level of optimism can cause people to take too many risks. Think about when you it's not only about having a high level of optimism and taking too many risks, it's also about seeing so many opportunities that you end up not doing anything. I could go to the gym like this. I could go to the gym this often. I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. I could go to the gym this often. Blah 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 blah. Next thing you know, you're not going to the gym. Analysis paralysis, right? Level 6. Level 6 is highly anabolic energy. The core thought is synthesis. The core feeling is joy, and the core action is wisdom. What do I mean by synthesis? I mean, this is the level where you really start to become. Level 6 and level 7 can tend to sound a little bit out there, a little woo woo, if you will, because level 6 is really where you start to become a cohesive part of everything around you. When you're, let's say, like for me, I'm a filmmaker as well as a coach, right? So when I'm directing a crew, I get an immense amount of joy because I'm just one with the crew. Everyone's working together. The film crew is just a cohesive and cast is a cohesive whole working towards this thing. I'm not by myself. We are all a team. We're kind of synthesized together for lack of a better term, and we just experience joy and we gain so much wisdom from the experience. So here's what it can sound like from the lens of those other scenarios we talked about. Time stands still whenever I'm completely focused on the experience. My wife and I are a team. We'll find a path to build a business while meeting our needs without judgment. Huge one here. Remember, level 2 was level 1 is my wife doesn't trust me. Level 2 is I'm so mad that my wife doesn't believe in me, which is kind of a mix of level 1 and 2, but the anger really is what makes it primarily level 2. Level 3 is it's not ideal, but we'll work through it. I'll work through it. I'm going to win. Level 4 is I'm going to make sure her concerns are taken care of. Level 5 is, well, I'm going to make sure her concerns and my needs are met. Level 6 is where the concerns become one, as they should be as a marriage. My wife's issues, my issues, they're our issues. So you're a team. It's not her concerns. It's your guys' concerns. You are one, right? So there is no judgment of her needs and my needs. You're just experiencing your own desires as one couple, and you're going to figure that out as a team that you are. When others grow, we all grow. Their success is a part of something greater than either one of us. Remember that cohesive whole. We are all interacting in some way, even to the smallest degree, with everyone around us, and are responsible for the direction that this world is going. Right? So it's bigger than just a team. There's no specific or best way to reach my goals. I trust my intuition to get me there. Another huge thing of level 6 is the intuition starts to come into play. Level 5 can be more logistically. Level 6 is this feels right. I'm trusting my gut with this. Like there is no right or wrong, good or bad way to reach my goals. The judgment starts to disappear at level 6. Judgment's basically no longer present. And when I say judgment, I'm talking about good or bad, right or wrong. So there are no best way to approach your habits. There is no right or wrong approach to losing weight or making more money or improving your marriage. You are simply trusting your intuition that you will figure it out, right? And same thing with the last one about personal growth and where you are in life is I trust my intuition to grow. I know in my gut that this is the best way to move forward. If there were a best way to move forward, this just feels like what makes sense for me. Other people can tell me this, and that, or I can read this, and that online, but this just feels right, right? Some of the advantages of level 6, people are intuitive, empathetic, and have ability to feel and connect without judgment. Remember, judgment is right or wrong, good or bad. As a result, There's a sense of joy and satisfaction. Some of the disadvantages of level 6 is people might not appear to be grounded and can seem out of touch or aloof. They may be high risk takers, acting on intuitive impulse without balancing the intuition with logic and emotion. So, again, leaning into that intuition can come at a disadvantage if you don't balance it out. We call it holographic thinking in the coaching world. How do I use my intuition, my mind, and my heart to know what the best way to move forward is, right? Or when I say heart, I mean emotions, the logical brain, the emotional brain, and my intuition. So as we move to level 7, we get to the highest level of anabolic energy. I do believe, let me double check my resource. I do believe level 7 is pure anabolic energy. Let me check my toolkit. Do, 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 do. You can't see what I'm looking at, but yep, level 7 is 100% anabolic energy. So at level 6, judgment is pretty much gone. At level 7, the core thought is non-judgment. So what's the difference there? It's actually something I dove deeper into recently. The difference is level 6, you're not thinking with judgment, but it still exists. There might be a good or bad or right or wrong lens, but at level 6, you're putting that to the side and really leaning into your intuition. And here's another thing to keep in mind. No one's really experiencing just level 1 or just level 2. It's almost usually a combination of the two. So with level 7 being non-judgment entirely, you might also be experiencing another level that has more judgment. So it's almost impossible to completely resonate at level 7. Level 7 is the level that you tap into in order to use any of the other energy levels at will. So again, it can seem a little out there, a little woo-woo, but the best, most practical way to view it is that you're you're mixing the intuition with thought. So level 6 is heavy on the intuition, and so is level 7. But level 7 is complete objective thinking. So you're not just thinking about your intuition, you're not just thinking about logic. You're kind of using it holistically to choose again the best way to move forward, the way to move forward that makes the most sense. So here's a practical example. If you're experiencing level 1 energy, like, man, why is this happening to me? And you go into your mind and you say, what other level can I choose? You just tapped into level 7 energy. You're thinking about the different levels. You might still have those feelings of victimhood or anger, but that brief moment where you said, I'm going to choose level 5, you just tapped into level 7, because level 7 is when you are a creator and you're a visionary of your own life. So by tapping into level 7 to choose another energy level at will, that is utilizing level 7. It can also be a meditative state when all thoughts really disappear and you are just there in the moment. So that's kind of, again, the difference between how judgment isn't really there in level 6, but pure level 7 non-judgment is just pure present. There is no more good or bad, rather than level 6 where you're kind of just not really considering the judgment. Level 7 is pure, again, that meditative state. Another way that I can express it, and maybe this will resonate, is there was an experience I had where I was at the gym and I finished my workout. And I was so proud of myself because I didn't want to. And I sat there and I just was overcome with emotion. Like, not like anger or sadness, but I was just like joy, almost like that level 6 joy. And I felt pure and I felt present and there in the moment. And I just felt like it was nothing but that moment. And that's another great trait of level 7. There's just this moment. Level 6 again is, or level 5 really is, that using the experience, right? Letting the experience be the experience and using it as an opportunity. But level 7, you're not even almost looking for opportunity. Level 7, you're just there, right? We have this saying in the methodology that I coach with, which is core energy coaching, which is I am. It sounds silly, but it's like, I am. You am, right? You are, like, it's just one statement. I am. I am myself. I am my cat. I'm the universe. That's where it sounds a little out there, but that's the best way that I can really describe it is you are the universe. Whether you believe, and this may not seem out there depending on your religious or spiritual beliefs, but you are the experience. You are a vehicle for the universe, everyone else a vehicle for the universe, and you are just there in the moment. So here's what level 7 can sound like. Time is merely a construct, both infinite and fleeting at the same time. My wife and I are expressions of the same purpose. Every experience is guiding us toward exactly what we're here to create. I trust that what is meant to unfold will. Remember, there's something greater there, whether it's God or the universe, whatever you want it to be. And again, my wife and I are expressions of the same purpose. We are, let's say you're Catholic, right? You and your wife are expressions of God's will, right? Or again, the universe. This is what the universe wants. Or if you don't believe in fate or the universe wanting something, this is the way the universe is supposed to be. And I will trust I'll flow there, essentially, right? There's no separation between serving others and serving myself. Their growth is simply another expression of life flowing through us all. Again, we are conduits of life. We are conduits of experience. We're conduits of God or the universe. There's nowhere I need to arrive, right? And that's another part of where judgment in level 6. So good or bad, right or wrong starts to disappear, but at level 6 there's still a place to go. So you're still judging whether or not you've reached there. So there's still a little bit of judgment present, whereas level 7 it's like there is nowhere to go, right? There's nowhere I need to arrive. Every moment is complete and every experience is creation expressing itself through me. Like this is the moment. There's nothing else. There's no past, there's no future. This is the moment. Nothing within me is broken. Every experience, even what I once called self-sabotage, has been guiding me towards greater awareness. I trust the intelligence that is expressing itself through me. And by the way, this intelligence doesn't have to be the universe or God. This intelligence can be your higher self, right? For me as a coach, it's my higher coach. It's really diving into that intuition, right? That version of myself that just this is right? It's that level 6. It starts at level 6 and it's just more prominent here in level 7. So some of the advantages of level 7 is that at level 7, people have the ability to connect with their inner genius and co-create their life experiences. They're connected to an intelligence of the highest order. And the disadvantages, if any, there's less emotional drama, which I know what you're thinking doesn't really sound like much of a disadvantage, there being less emotional drama. But the thing is, there's less emotional drama because things aren't really seen as real, right? Because you're not thinking about the past or the future or how well this thing's doing or how bad this thing's doing. You're just there, man. You're just happy to be there. So you might be perceived as others by being disconnected. So I hope after explaining level 6 and level 7, you see why they can be considered a little out there. But again, it's not about living in these levels primarily. You might have a level 7 experience that mixes with a level 6 or level 5. And quite frankly, that's just how it's going to be for all of us. I don't think anyone can completely resonate here at level 7. It's level 7. You can resonate longer in the other levels, but still most likely with a mix of other energy levels too. But level 7, it's really that level that you tap into, right? You tap into it to use. You're not really existing within it. You're tapping into it. All right. So those are the 7 levels of energy. And remember, the whole point of this framework is to give you the awareness so that you can choose, which would be level 7, a level that is more productive for you, right? I'm experiencing a level 1. I'm going to choose a level 3 or level 4 or level 5, because if you don't have that awareness, you can't change, right? Your initial response is valid. It makes sense, but then you live within it. You live within the victim thinking. You live within the anger, and then you continue to not get to where you want to go. So how do you learn more about the 7-level framework? Well, there's literature online. There's a wonderful book called Energy Leadership by Bruce D. Schneider that you can buy on Amazon and dive deeper into an actual case study within a business utilizing this framework. But the best way to go deeper into the 7-level framework is by taking the Energy Leadership Index assessment. I'm not just certified to teach this, I'm certified to actually proctor the assessment. What does the assessment do? The assessment takes a look through 70 questions, about a 20-minute assessment that you take. It'll show you your exact levels of energy down to the percentage, level by level. You'll be able to see, oh, at level 1, I'm experiencing 15% or 70% of my energy exists within level 1. And the best part about it is you get to see your energetic makeup when things are going well for you and when you're actively undergoing a stressor. You get to see, holy shit, when I'm under pressure, my energy level just drops and I'm just level 1 and level 2 all the way, or a higher level. It's really, really neat. And it's the best way to see your opportunity, level 5, plastered right in front of your face. There's no better way to learn the 7 levels of energy than to take the assessment and have a debrief with a certified coach like myself. So again, the assessment's 20 minutes, about 20 minutes, 70 questions. You get the results before a 60, which is about a 90-minute debrief with me. And coaches usually, if you Google it, coaches are usually charging over $300 because it's that powerful. But I'm actually offering the assessment and the debrief for $99 within my free community, The Unsettled. So in the description, if you check it out, there's a link to the Unsettled community where you can access a free 2-minute quiz to identify your major roadblock, as well as the ability to only pay $99, to only really invest, rather, $99 to take the assessment and have your debrief so that you can become more of an expert and have more awareness with this framework. Because the more that you do that, the more you learn it, the more you will be able to tap into it to improve your life. Now, one last thing here I'm going to show you. Let me pull it up here. So you can find this on Google as well. This is called that's a small picture. Hold on one second. This is called the energetic self-perception chart. So remember all the core feelings, the core thoughts. I'm going to get it on my screen here in just a moment. Let me go to energetic self-perception chart. That's the wrong tab. There it is. Is that it? Here it is. Okay. So this is the energetic self-perception chart. You'll notice the core feelings, the core thoughts, the core actions all exist here. This is really kind of what we learned here. There's sections of this graph that show how much ego you have, and also that there's the center, which is self, the outer is it four? It's three. 3 levels of self-mastery, and then self-transcendence. The real meat and potatoes is the thoughts, feelings, and actions here right at the top. So if you wanted to, you could actually look this up, download it, or if you join the community, you can access it there too and print it off. You can literally carry it with you and say, hey, I'm experiencing a level 2 right now. What would a level 4 look like? What would a level 5 look like? Right? So that's a great tool as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out this energy leadership training. I hope you found value in this. Go ahead and hit the subscribe. And again, check out the community below. You'll get access to that free quiz to identify your primary roadblock, as well as the $99 offer for the Energy Leadership Index assessment and debrief. I'll see you next time.